Greetings, dear ladies. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. My partner, he steps away. Many years we have been giving these short messages. They're always before that which is the ceremonies and all that is to come begin. And in all of those years, it's been for all of the sisters everywhere, where these particular channelings are heard by many. Tonight, I'm going to invite those who listened later to listen in. But tonight's channel is for those who sit in front of me, specifically. You find yourself in an area that is known for unusual energies. You're in Sedona. There have been those who may have been here many times, and others, this is the first. But it's famous for energy. And there are those who will come who don't understand anything about energies or vortexes, and they'll feel it. And they won't know what it is or why. And it's an interesting thing about the energies of the area. You might say that these energies move in circles. And the circles are sometimes small, sometimes large, and they move from year to year. There was a time when they stayed in one place and one area was known for one thing, and then they started moving. Ask a local, they'll tell you. But they're still here. And they spin in a way that affects those who stand there or are passing through there or perhaps even sleeping there. And what they do is unusual. They will make some people very, very nervous. They'll make other people angry. And others will fall in love with where they stand. And this is that which is what you would call seemingly uncontrollable, but not for you. You haven't figured it out. Light worker, energy worker, ShaWoman. You can step into any of these areas you feel there's a vortex and call upon the energy in any way you want to take you to a level that's different for awareness for the moment. Now, when you leave those vortexes, all of that goes away. So some come here just to sit in them and be more enlightened or have aha moments. And you'll see that even today. Those who will sit on certain rock, they'll just sit there. And you'll say, well, that's nice, they're meditating. No, they're not. They're receiving. This area is like a giant antenna. And it is available for you. Why am I telling you this? Because there are those in this room who are asking for this, who have said, what is next? Why am I here? Perhaps it's your first time. Was I in Lemuria? Or if I was not, do I have the DNA of those ancestors who were, which my lineage, which means I really truly was at some level. But each one of you who is then what we call catching this excitement bug of saying, there's something here for me. That's who I'm talking to. I don't think you would be in the chair otherwise. The invitation for all of you, if you wish, is for an elevated awareness of some of the things you came for today. It's in the area. Why would you not take advantage of this? Perhaps some of you say, well, where should I go? Follow your intuition and go to an area you feel suits you, ShaWoman. Don't let anybody tell you where the vortexes are, ShaWoman. This is a test. By the way, Mele'ha, there'll be no sacred assignment today. I was going to ask you about all the acrobatics you used to do, but not today. No assignment. Unless, of course, you want to go and find the Vortex as well for your next assignment. That's a hint. Dear ones, I want to read some of you. I want to tell you who's here. And it's so interesting because this is so typical of the ones that I have sat with before and never called it out. What do you think the similarities are of the Akash of those who sit in the chairs? And I don't mean the feeling you might have been in Lemuria. What brings you here through the thousands of years of your Akash, of your lifetimes, both genders, where you would again be a woman like you were in Lemuria, and you sit in the chair? Do you know how many former nuns are here? Oh, you relate, don't you? What is it about that is commensurate with shamanism, ShaWomanism? And that answer should be obvious, because being a nun is the closest you could do in this culture, in this society, to what you're used to, if you indeed had that ShaWoman, shaman presence or feeling. And that's what you did. However, what happens next is interesting. Remember, the Akash is rich with information, feelings, emotions, attitudes. It remembers all of it. You can go back to a past life, and a reader will go there and show you what you were thinking almost, and perhaps what the issues were. So whereas you've come from purity to go into that which is a nunnery, your next lives and your next lives will all then have those attributes of what you learned as a nun. You took vows. And they today get in the way of being in this group. Did you know that? Because the vows you took in the subconscious are a program that you carry, because it's a very sacred one. And those of you who just loved doing it, and that was what you wanted to do and all of that, carry that in you right now, today. And some of those things that you're so wanting are blocked right now by the vows that are not appropriate in what we teach today about the love of God, or what you would then want to teach as the former shaman. It'd be a great time to walk out and say to the Vortex, I want an elevated consciousness right now, do it, to take away all blocks from my former life as a nun, so that I can proceed with confidence and peace. And some of you are wondering why some of the other things in your life are a certain way. It's the same reason. Interesting, isn't it, to think that something so sacred and dedicated would create a program and a block of today. But the energy is shifting. I'll give you another one. And it's the most unusual one you'd ever think of. And yet, as I sit in front of your groups of women and over the years, I will tell you, you wouldn't believe how many former male sea captains are sitting here. It's unusual, wouldn't you think? A sea captain is in love with the earth. Goes to the sea on purpose. It's his mistress, and you've heard that before. In love with the ocean, in love with the sea. That's your connection to Gaia in the past life as a sea captain. But the sea captain is in total control of absolutely everything, in charge. Do you think that's a program? And you come from being in charge, and you cannot then simply go into another lifetime and forget all that. Almost all sea captains come back in and go to the sea. because it's in their Akash. You know that. For some of you, it's in your Akash. And that is a control issue at the max. That is one of the biggest control issues of anyone who has been a sea captain in a former life as a male in the room. Wouldn't it be a good time to drop that kind of control? And it's a subconscious program that you're not even truly aware of. I'm making you aware of it. Could it be that you actually have some of that left? So much that you don't want to let go of it to the extent that you will participate fully in something entirely new. On Monday, a new program begins. A core teaching that is an advanced teaching for the women who want to go to the next level. The teaching is directly from the Shamanic Wheel in Lemuria, not the basic teaching wheel, the Shamanic Wheel. There were many wheels, dear ones. This one has been assigned to Mele'ha. And I'll tell you where her issues will be with those who attend, because the ones who will want to be there are former shamans. What do you think those programs are like? If you were a shaman 1,000 years ago, do you think the energy was different? And it was. And you might say, well, but those were things that we are relearning. Not necessarily. Not unless you are learning the core Lemurian truths, because all of those things were taken and they were changed. And they were linearized. And they were broken up. And so many of the shamans had a piece of the truth, and the rest was either tradition or mythology. And you carry often programs of tradition and mythology. How would you like to walk out and get rid of those? And you can. I am making you aware of something that sits upon you, so many of you, or you wouldn't be sitting there today, that must be released so that you can hear a new, fresh, but ancient core truth from Mele'ha. One that you might not agree with, one that you might want to change, one that you might want to take and say, well, I'm not really sure this is true, only because your program is there in your Akash. I want you to relax and understand these things are all there. You're in an area, believe me, where those things can be made aware of, and you can release them far faster than when you leave this place. That's the message for the sisters here who are serious about going to the next level. And so it is.